2004, when I was 19, I escaped from the abuse that I had experienced.
Runaway Amish girl. Did you know who George Washington was?
No, I thought he was somebody's grandfather.
In the heart of America, Amish women live under strict, unchanging rules that most outsiders can't believe are real. No buttons, no pain relief during childbirth, no makeup, and absolutely no divorce, even in abusive marriages. These aren't just traditions. They're enforced expectations with serious consequences. From faceless dolls to limited education, these 20 weird rules expose a hidden world most have never seen. Stay with us till the end. We've uncovered a chilling truth even many Amish try to keep buried. Number 20. Mandatory attendance at community events. In the Amish world, showing up isn't optional. It's expected. Women are required to attend nearly every community event, from Sunday church services to barn raisings and quilting bees. These aren't just gatherings. They're vital moments to prove loyalty to the church and unity within the community. Not showing up without a clear reason is seen as rebellion, even if it's something as simple as being sick or needing rest. Missing events can lead to rumors, criticism, or worse, formal church discipline. The expectation starts young. Girls grow up learning that presence equals obedience and commitment. These events are less about socializing and more about fulfilling your role without question. Whether it's hours of farm labor or sitting in long church services, Amish women are expected to participate without complaint. Their attendance isn't just tradition, it's part of the spiritual structure. Participation also reflects a woman's values. Staying home is seen as selfish or lazy, especially if others are working. Refusing to help at a barn raising or skipping a funeral isn't just frowned upon. It may be viewed as a challenge to the community's authority. The system doesn't allow much room for personal needs or emotional space. Being present is part of their identity. This constant obligation reinforces the idea that the group always comes first. Women are rarely allowed to prioritize themselves. Their value is tied to their visibility and reliability at these gatherings. It's a lifestyle built on submission, not self-expression. Number 19. No buttons allowed. In most cultures, buttons are just a part of everyday clothing. In Amish life, they're banned, considered symbols of vanity and pride. Instead, Amish women must use straight pins, hook and eye closures, or snaps to fasten their dresses. This isn't a fashion choice. It's a spiritual one rooted in centuries of tradition. The belief is simple. Buttons can attract attention, and attention is the enemy of humility. Even children must follow this rule. Girls as young as 5 wear dresses pinned together, learning early that modesty isn't negotiable. Bright colors and flashy designs are also off-limits. Everything about Amish clothing is designed to keep women plain, quiet, and unnoticed. They believe external simplicity reflects internal discipline. This dress code isn't about practicality. Straight pins are uncomfortable and can even be unsafe, but they remain because they separate the Amish from the English, anyone outside their community. It's a daily reminder that they are different and that difference is sacred. The discomfort serves a purpose, to keep the focus on faith, not fashion. There are no exceptions. Special occasions like weddings still require handmade, button-free dresses. Even aprons and bonnets follow the same rules. The entire wardrobe is meant to erase individuality and encourage obedience. It's a way to stay spiritually pure by avoiding worldly influence. The ban on buttons may seem strange, but for the Amish, it's about spiritual survival. It's not just a rule, it's a boundary, protecting them from pride and pushing them deeper into community life. Number 18. The serious threat of the ban meidung. The most feared consequence in Amish life is the meidung, or shunning. It happens when someone breaks a rule and refuses to repent. Women can be shunned for things outsiders might consider minor, like dressing differently, refusing to attend church, or speaking against their husbands. Once banned, they lose all connection to the community, including their own family. No one speaks to them, eats with them, or even acknowledges them in public. The ban isn't temporary unless forgiveness is requested and granted. For many women, the emotional toll is devastating. Being isolated in a tight-knit world means losing your entire support system overnight. Even asking for forgiveness can be hard, especially when they believe they did nothing wrong. It's spiritual punishment mixed with deep emotional pain. This rule keeps everyone in line. Fear of shunning controls behavior more than any sermon ever could. It forces conformity and silence, especially among women. Speaking out against abuse, injustice, or personal unhappiness can lead straight to medung. Many choose to stay quiet, even when suffering. Few outsiders realize how far this rule goes. It's not just about church. It affects every meal, every event, every friendship. For Amish women, the threat of isolation is always close. Number 17. Limited education, only until 8th grade. In Amish communities, formal education ends at 8th grade, especially for girls. After that, their learning shifts entirely to home-based skills like cooking, sewing, and child-rearing. The purpose isn't personal growth, it's preparation for a life centered around submission, not independence. Schools are small, often run by Amish teachers with the same limited education. Subjects are basic: reading, writing, math, and religion. There's no focus on science, technology, or critical thinking. Anything that encourages questioning authority or seeking outside knowledge is avoided. Girls are taught obedience, hard work, and modesty from a young age. This ensures they fit the role expected of them as wives and mothers. Higher education is not only discouraged, it's viewed as dangerous to the faith. Because of this limit, most Amish women can't pursue careers, run businesses, or vote in modern systems. They are kept in a cycle that repeats generation after generation. Education stops at a level just enough to function in their world, but never to challenge it. This setup guarantees control and maintains traditional gender roles. What many don't know is that some former Amish women, once they leave, struggle deeply due to this educational gap. Without a high school diploma, getting a job or going to college becomes almost impossible. The system is designed to keep them inside, both physically and mentally. It's a form of control that starts early and follows them for life. Number 16. Birth control is prohibited. In Amish communities, birth control is strictly forbidden. Contraceptives of any kind, pills, condoms, even family planning methods, are completely off-limits. Children are seen as gifts from God, and families with 7, 8, or even 10 children are common. The church encourages large families, believing that more children strengthen the community. But the physical and emotional toll on women is rarely discussed. Amish women are expected to accept pregnancy as part of their role, no matter the risks or their own health. Pain, complications, and even mental exhaustion are brushed aside. Since home births are common and hospitals are avoided, many women go through multiple deliveries with little or no medical support. It's a cycle that rarely slows down. Rest and recovery are limited because raising a large family requires constant labor. There's no sex education to help women understand their own bodies or reproductive health. Decisions are made by the church or the husband. If a woman doesn't want more children, she has no voice in the matter. The idea of choice doesn't exist in this system. A lesser-known issue is how often this rule leads to hidden suffering. Miscarriages, postpartum depression, and medical emergencies are underreported and untreated. Women are expected to endure, silently and without question. This rule isn't just about reproduction, it's about total control over a woman's body. Number 15. Unconventional courtship customs. Dating in the Amish world looks nothing like what most people know. One of the strangest customs is called bundling, where a young couple lies in the same bed, but with a wooden board or blanket between them. They are fully clothed and not allowed to touch. This tradition is meant to encourage conversation, not physical intimacy. It's awkward, strict, and built to prevent temptation. Families often play a big role in these courtships. Matches are encouraged by parents or community elders based on faith and family reputation. Romantic feelings come second to spiritual compatibility. If the families approve, the couple might eventually marry, often after only a few months. The goal is a stable household, not an emotional connection. There's no casual dating. Every courtship is serious and tied to long-term commitment. Public affection is not allowed, and everything is done under the watchful eye of the community. The entire process is about keeping everything clean and controlled. One fact rarely talked about is how little choice some girls actually have. Saying no to a potential match can lead to pressure, shame, or gossip. For many Amish women, courtship is less about finding love and more about following the plan laid out for them. In Amish culture, bonnets aren't just hats. They mark identity, marital status, and spiritual devotion at all times. Number 14. Bonnet tradition. In Amish communities, bonnets are more than just head coverings, and they're a symbol of obedience and modesty. Every woman wears one in public, without exception. The color and shape often reflect her marital status, with white for married women and black or darker tones for unmarried ones. Bonnets are tied tightly and worn over a prayer covering, reinforcing the idea of submission to God and male authority. Removing a bonnet in public is seen as shameful and even rebellious. The tradition comes from a strict interpretation of biblical scripture, which calls for women to cover their heads during worship and daily life. This rule is enforced by family, church, and the broader community. It's not just about religion, it's about control and identity. From a young age, girls are taught that a bare head equals disrespect and spiritual weakness. What's lesser known is that some women who secretly leave the Amish describe taking off their bonnet as their first act of freedom. Number 13. Home childbirth. Most Amish women give birth at home without access to doctors or hospitals. Instead, births are handled by midwives or experienced female relatives. Painkillers are rarely used, even during long or complicated labors. The process is meant to be natural, quiet, and spiritually grounded. Medical tools are limited, and modern technology is almost never present. Calling 911 or going to a hospital is considered a last resort. In many cases, even emergencies are handled within the community. Women are expected to remain strong, no matter the risk to their own health. Ambulance use may be blocked by church rules, especially in more conservative groups. If a serious problem occurs, it often leads to dangerous delays in care. Some women suffer long-term health problems from births that weren't managed safely. There's also little to no mental health support after delivery. Postpartum depression is rarely recognized or treated. The church expects mothers to quickly return to daily chores and child rearing. A lesser-known fact is that some midwives in Amish communities are unlicensed, increasing the risk during delivery. Despite the dangers, home births remain the norm due to religious beliefs and community pressure. The goal is spiritual obedience, not medical safety. Number 12. Women cannot become preachers. In Amish churches, leadership is entirely male. Women are not allowed to be preachers, elders, or hold any official position within the church. Their role during services is passive. They sit in silence, sing hymns and pray, but never speak or lead. Decisions about faith, rules, and discipline are made only by men. Women are expected to follow, not question or contribute. The church teaches that men are spiritual leaders and women are their helpers. This belief shapes every part of Amish religious life. A woman's spiritual duty is tied to submission and support, not leadership. Even in private, spiritual conversations between men and women must reflect this power structure. What many outsiders don't realize is that this rule often limits women's ability to even ask religious questions. While women can teach children or participate in service tasks like cooking or sewing for church events, their voices hold no weight in official matters. No voting, no speaking roles, and no influence over decisions. This keeps power tightly in male hands and limits how far women can grow in their faith. The system is designed to keep women spiritually dependent, not spiritually empowered. Amish teens face a critical choice in rumspringer: embrace temporary freedom or commit forever to community rules. Number 11. The mystery of rumspringer. Rumspringer is a brief period when Amish teens are allowed to experience the outside world. For girls, this means trying makeup, wearing modern clothes, or even using phones and social media. But this freedom is limited and carefully watched. The expectation is that most teens will return to the church, get baptized, and fully accept Amish life. It's not real freedom. It's more like a test of loyalty. Some girls take advantage of this window to explore life outside, but the pressure to return is heavy. Families and church leaders encourage them to settle down quickly, often through early marriage. Those who choose to leave permanently often lose all contact with their families. The fear of banishment makes many return, even if they don't agree with all the rules. What's rarely discussed is how some teens fake their return, staying Amish outwardly but secretly breaking rules. The church uses rumspringer to offer a false sense of choice. In reality, the consequences of leaving are so harsh that few teens can truly walk away. Girls especially face judgment for stepping outside traditional roles. Rumspringer isn't about freedom, it's about reinforcing control. Once baptized, leaving the Amish faith becomes nearly impossible without lifelong separation from family. Number 10. Limited sex education. In Amish schools, there is no formal sex education. Girls don't learn about their bodies, reproduction, or what to expect in marriage. Instead, information is passed privately, often from older female relatives. This can lead to confusion, fear, and unrealistic ideas about intimacy. Many girls enter marriage without fully understanding what will happen. Sex is seen as a duty and part of God's design for family. Fertility is expected immediately, and large families are the norm. But young wives are often unprepared, physically, mentally, and emotionally. There's no public discussion or medical support for sexual health. Any questions are expected to be handled quietly, without involving outsiders. This silence creates long-term problems, including shame and anxiety around intimacy. Some women suffer quietly for years because they think pain or confusion is normal. There's no counseling or sex education in the church. Even talking about it can be seen as improper. The lack of knowledge and support keeps women in a dependent and powerless position. Number 9. No makeup or cosmetics. In Amish life, wearing makeup is not allowed. Not even simple items like lip balm. Makeup is linked to vanity, which the community sees as a sin. Women are taught that God made them a certain way, and altering that is wrong. This belief encourages extreme modesty and discourages any focus on appearance. Even on their wedding day, brides do not wear makeup. Cosmetics of any kind are considered worldly and prideful. The goal is to appear plain, humble, and disconnected from modern beauty trends. Young girls learn early that natural looks are not just preferred, they're required. The pressure to conform comes from both family and religious teachings. A desire to wear makeup is often viewed as rebellion. Some women still find small ways to feel beautiful, like using homemade skincare or carefully styling their hair within limits. But even these are done quietly and without drawing attention. The rejection of beauty products isn't just about rules, and it's about control. By limiting self-expression, the community reinforces obedience and sameness. It's a system where standing out is not just discouraged, it's punished. Number 8. Faceless toys for children. In Amish homes, children's dolls are intentionally made without faces, noses, or mouths. This practice comes from a strict interpretation of the biblical commandment against creating graven images. The idea is that giving a doll a face makes it too human-like, which could lead to pride or self-idolization. By removing facial features, the Amish aim to teach children early about humility and simplicity. These blank dolls reflect the community's focus on obedience over individual identity. For outsiders, faceless toys may seem eerie or even sad, but for Amish families, they serve a clear spiritual purpose. They remind children that beauty and identity aren't found in appearances. Girls, in particular, grow up learning that self-expression should be minimal and modest. The faceless doll becomes a tool of discipline as well as play. Even homemade toys are designed to avoid excess ornamentation. This rule also sends a larger message. Conformity is valued, and standing out is not. Toys that celebrate imagination or personality are discouraged. Instead, playtime becomes an extension of religious training. In some communities, even drawing faces on paper is discouraged for young children. The lesson is clear. Elf image is not something to celebrate, but something to keep hidden. Number 7. Amish wedding night rules. There's no honeymoon in Amish culture. After the wedding, the couple usually spends the night at the bride's family home or with close relatives. The very next morning, they're expected to return to normal life, often doing chores. Wedding celebrations focus on food, family, and faith, not romance or personal indulgence. There's little privacy or fanfare, even on the most important day of a couple's life. Sex is never publicly discussed, not even among women. Any education about intimacy is passed quietly, often last minute. New brides are expected to simply know what to do based on hints or vague teachings. Emotional readiness is rarely considered. This lack of openness makes the experience confusing and sometimes distressing for young women. Marriages are seen more as a duty than a romantic partnership. Love is expected to grow later, through faith and shared work. The wedding night is less about celebration and more about transition. There's no space for personal joy or excitement, just obligation and responsibility. These strict traditions aim to preserve modesty, but often leave couples unprepared for real-life intimacy. Amish farming depends on everyone, especially women, who work hard with no pay, sick days, or shortcuts allowed. Number 6. Livestock farming and barn raising. Amish women are not just homemakers, they're also expected to help with manual labor, especially during farming season or emergencies. Whether it's milking cows, harvesting crops, or feeding animals, women work hard alongside the men. During barn raisings, which are massive community events, over 100 people might show up. No one is allowed to skip, not even the elderly or those feeling unwell. It's not just teamwork, it's required by duty. Even though strict gender roles exist, they don't prevent women from lifting heavy loads or performing tough tasks. There's no reward or recognition, just the expectation that everyone does their part. Women handle both indoor and outdoor work, often without complaint. In crisis situations, like animal sickness or weather damage, the pressure only increases. Missing work is rarely accepted, even for illness or exhaustion. There are no days off, no breaks, and certainly no pay. Work is part of their spiritual life, and it's considered a service to family and God. The idea of balance or rest isn't prioritized. Instead, strength and submission are expected, especially from women. These demands teach early that being tired or overwhelmed doesn't excuse anyone from responsibility. Number 5. No use of modern technology. Amish communities strictly avoid modern technology like phones, the internet, cars, and sometimes even electricity. This rejection is not just about tradition, but a way to maintain separation from the outside world. Some Amish groups do allow gas-powered tools or hire non-Amish workers for certain tasks, but these are exceptions. Women's daily lives are full of physical work, hand-washing clothes, cooking meals from scratch, and sewing garments by hand. This lifestyle keeps them busy from dawn to dusk, often without much connection to the modern world. Life can feel very isolated, especially for women. Without phones or the internet, communication is limited to face-to-face talks or written letters. This lack of technology reduces distractions but also cuts off access to broader information and support. It means Amish women often rely solely on their families and community for news and help. This isolation reinforces control within the community and limits outside influences. Technology is seen as a threat to their values, encouraging pride, selfishness, or disobedience. By living simply, Amish women embrace humility and focus on their roles. The absence of electricity also means no TVs or radios, keeping entertainment and news tightly controlled. This leads to a slower, quieter lifestyle, but also means fewer chances for women to connect with the world beyond their community. Despite these limits, many Amish women find strength in their routines and the close-knit nature of their lives. Number 4. No divorce. Allowed divorce in Amish communities is not just discouraged, it's forbidden. This rule stands firm even when marriages involve abuse, infidelity, or deep unhappiness. Women are expected to endure hardships rather than leave their husbands. If a woman tries to separate, she risks being shunned by her family, church, and community. This lack of support leaves many trapped in painful situations. In smaller Amish sects, there is little legal protection for women facing marital problems. The church's rules often override state laws, making it difficult for women to seek outside help. Because divorce is seen as breaking the sacred bond of marriage, it's considered a sin with serious consequences. The idea of forgiveness and sticking it out, no matter the cost, dominates the culture. Women grow up knowing that leaving a marriage means risking everything. This strict stance creates intense pressure to conform and stay silent about problems. Women may hide abuse or unhappiness to avoid punishment. Emotional suffering often goes unseen, and the community prioritizes family unity above individual well-being. This tradition reinforces male authority and limits women's freedom. Despite the harshness, many Amish believe these rules protect the community's moral fabric and keep families intact. Number 3. Women must submit to their husbands. Submission is a core teaching in Amish life, especially for women. It's presented as a biblical truth that wives must follow their husbands' decisions without question. Husbands have the final say on everything, including money, child-rearing, and even medical care. This authority is rarely challenged because women are raised to believe it's right and necessary for family harmony. Questioning a husband's authority is seen as rebellion and can lead to serious consequences. Women are taught that submitting is a form of service to God and their families. This mindset shapes their entire identity and role within the community. Many accept this control without hesitation because it's been drilled into them from childhood. Even decisions about health treatments or emergencies often require the husband's approval. This power imbalance leaves women with limited freedom to advocate for themselves. While submission can feel oppressive from the outside, Amish women often view it as part of their faith and responsibility. It's wrapped in religious meaning that gives it weight beyond personal preference. The husband's role as head of the household is deeply respected and seen as protective rather than controlling. This dynamic creates a clear, though strict, structure where women know their place and duties. It's a system that prioritizes obedience over independence, shaping every part of Amish women's lives. Number 2. Strict dress code. In Amish communities, clothing follows strict rules. All garments are handmade, simple, and use plain, muted colors like black, gray, and navy. There is no room for jewelry patterns or anything that stands out. Even underwear must be modest and basic, reflecting the community's focus on humility. Girls learn to sew their own clothes by around age 10, preparing them early to maintain these traditions. This dress code is about more than appearance. It shows commitment to Amish values. Wearing plain clothes means rejecting vanity and pride. The uniform look also builds unity and equality, removing competition about fashion. For Amish women, clothing is a daily reminder of their role and identity. Following these rules signals obedience and respect for the community's way of life. Not following the dress code can bring serious consequences. It may lead to social exclusion or church discipline. The simplicity of dress contrasts sharply with modern trends, making Amish women easily recognizable. This style supports their separation from mainstream culture and reinforces their focus on modesty and faith. It's a clear boundary that keeps the community's traditions alive. Number 1. Silent suffering of abuse. Abuse in Amish communities is often hidden and rarely spoken about. Protecting the family's reputation is the top priority, so victims usually stay silent. The community values forgiveness and peace, which often means elders encourage victims to forgive rather than seek justice. This approach can leave survivors feeling trapped and unheard. Abuse can continue for years without intervention. Many victims suffer in silence because speaking out risks shaming their family or being shunned by their community. There is little support or resources for those experiencing abuse inside the Amish world. Authorities may not be contacted, especially in smaller groups that handle problems internally. This secrecy means outsiders rarely learn the truth about what goes on behind closed doors. The silence preserves the community's image, but sacrifices individual well-being. Survivors often carry deep emotional scars without help or understanding. They may feel isolated, powerless, and afraid to leave due to strict social ties. The church's emphasis on submission and family unity can make leaving seem impossible. Abuse is treated as a private matter, not a crime, which protects perpetrators more than victims. This silent suffering is a hidden and painful reality many Amish women face. Raising awareness about abuse in these communities is difficult but necessary. It challenges the culture of silence and offers hope for change. Survivors who find the courage to speak out inspire others and begin breaking the cycle. Understanding this hidden issue is essential for anyone wanting to grasp the full picture of Amish women's lives. One of the most powerful stories comes from an Amish woman who risked everything to escape her strict community. She fled after years of suffering in silence, determined to live a life of freedom and choice. Today, she educates others about Amish customs, especially the harsh realities faced by women. Her story has sparked both backlash from conservative Amish groups and support from those who want to see change. Her escape wasn't just about leaving. It became a mission to expose the limits placed on Amish women. She shares how girls are raised to obey, dress plainly, marry young, and accept silence about abuse. Through her talks and writings, she shines a light on the invisible struggles behind the peaceful Amish image. Her courage challenges the community's control and gives a voice to those still trapped inside. This woman's story also reveals a growing internal rebellion among younger Amish women. More girls are questioning traditions and dreaming of independence. Some secretly explore the outside world during rumspringer, testing the boundaries they grew up with. Her journey proves that change is possible, even in the most closed-off communities. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click on the next video popping up on your screen for more amazing content.